At the Manitoba Indigenous Cultural Education Centre, we want to support community members, including survivors and families that want to learn about our histories as Indigenous people, about our culture, about our ways of life. And that includes supporting survivors and community members who want to tell their story. So the goal of this video is to support survivors who want to tell their story and are looking for resources. So some of the people that are in the video today are people that visit us here regularly at the center. They're well known in our community for telling their story, or they're survivors that have recently started to tell their story and get asked to share about their residential school experience. Because in school programs, kids are learning about residential school, and this is something that we want to continue to talk about in our communities. And so we're hoping that this video can support others in the community to feel empowered and safe to tell their story in schools and wherever they would like to do so.
My name is Jennifer Wood. I come from Neyaashiinigamig in Southern Ontario. I went to the Portage Indian Residential School from 1973 to 75.
Hi, my name is Jim Sinclair. I was born in Selkirk, just north of Selkirk, on original St. Peter's Reserve, which was St. Peter's Peguis when it was moved. I went to Fort Alex School when I was 5 years and 4 months old, and I went till I was 12.
My name is Geraldine Shingoose, and my spirit names are Sky Woman and Northern Lights Woman, and I come from the Bear Clan. And I attended Muskowgan Residential School from 1962 to 1971, 9 years. And I'm from Tootinaowaziibeeng, Valley River First Nation.
Bonjour, my name's Katie Whitford. My spirit name is Golden Eagle Woman, from the Bear Clan. Kawikwa is Sandy Bay First Nation. That's where I'm from originally. I was at the Sandy Bay Residential School for 10 years.
My journey of healing was a long one. Today I don't totally find myself totally healed. It's been quite a journey as a residential school survivor. A vision came to me that I needed to continue to share those stories. So I made a decision that I would go out and share my stories with organizations, with schools, with universities, and it was, and I've been doing that for the last 8 years, and it's been quite a journey. And the reason why I did that was because I didn't want those stories to be lost. I wanted people to know, I wanted Canada to know that these stories needed to be shared. They needed to be continue to be shared and to teach, because there's a lot of people that aren't aware of residential school. And during my presentations, there have been individuals that never heard about residential school or the residential school experience by the survivors. So it was really important that I go out there and share them.
If a survivor is wanting to share their story, keep in mind that you're going to talk about things that you've probably never talked about before. It's one thing to think about it and write about it, but when you share it, you're going to be triggered, and you're going to go to a place that you left long time ago. But at the same time, saying this, it's important to tell your story in order to heal, because the more you share with others, the stronger you feel, because you're sharing an experience that other survivors have endured. And I always will say this, we are stronger in numbers, and it's okay to share our pain with other people because it heals ourselves as well. And the young children today, I believe it's important for them to know about residential school. I think it's important for them to know the truth and come from a place of feeling a sense of gratefulness that your parents and grandparents and aunties and uncles all survived that.
Well, as survivors, my recommendation or suggestions to them is to, it's okay to share your story. You're sharing that true history of what happened to you in residential school, but to ensure that you have the supports, your family supports you, guides you, walk with you. Because my family, that's what they do, and they encourage me and support me in sharing my story.
Yeah, we have to talk. We have to keep talking, and not get discouraged by. Some of these talks can get very emotional, as we all know. They get very emotional, and we need somebody that's going to help us walk through these emotions sometimes. I know, like those of us who felt we've been on a healing journey, and we think we're getting by, and then something drastic happens again. So whether we think we dealt with it or not, it's a continuum of dealing with it, and we need people to keep talking about it. We need organizations to keep helping, and that's where it's still going. It's continual.
And if you're not ready to share your story, then that's okay. Even if you can't share and present, maybe write it, write it down. I'm just letting you know that it's when you prepare yourself to go present, smudge before you go, and prepare yourself, because you're going to be sharing what happened to you in residential school, and take care of yourself, drink water, and and smudge yourself with those medicines.
The coping mechanisms that have proven effective for me when talking about my story, of course it's painful, and it's okay to be vulnerable. There are times that when I'm telling my story that I'll break down. There are other times that I'll just make my mind strong, because I'm doing it for my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren, for other children that are watching or wanting to learn. I want them to know that, we have to have a tough skin. We have to have another layer as a survivor, because we were taught not to speak up and not to express ourselves. So today I found my voice, and I like my voice, and I'm not going to sit back and be quiet. If I hear something about residential schools that I know is not the truth, I'm going to speak up about it and tell our narrative on our truth and our story.
In dealing with the young grade 6 people, I have to relate, well, first of all, to my first years in residential school, which became a blur, and then go to their level and speak at their level, grade 6 level, and say, this is what my days were like as a grade 6 student.
I don't talk about my abuse, with those students, because I gotta acknowledge that we're in a different time right now, and that these kids are pure, that no harm has come to them. But I want them to know that Grandma went to residential school, and in their learning about residential school, they got to meet a survivor, a residential school survivor.
The advice I would give to survivors, if they're, speaking to children in the schools, or, just to be conscious of their level of understanding what age the children are. Children can learn basic things, commands in our language. You can teach that. You know, our language is so important. I think that's one of the things our survivors can give to children. If you want to give something to children, give them our language, you know. And also that they need to remember that they're valuable, you know, people. They are worth more than what we have been told. So that's what I would say to survivors, and to be brave and to say the truth, and to, you know, to be proud, to regain the pride that we have in our culture, you know. Show that pride to the children.
Once you get there, like everything will come to you, and like, you know, whatever you want to share. Because I know in my experience, I share my story, like, you know, about life before residential school, life during residential school, and life after residential school. So those three parts are like a guide for me. So you can't do it in half an hour or even an hour. Like, you know, you can't capture all your experience. So just, you know, just grab parts of it and share what you can. I just want you to know that our community and the people know about residential school now, and they're supporting us in every which way, and they have so much respect for us, and just want you to know that you are respected, and like, you know, you are loved, and the people take care of you when you go to those places to present. So just know that you are taken care of.